Jim Jam, back again for another episode of JimJamHere. Today we got Stephen Webster. He is a director of photography, most notable for his work with Jelly Roll. He does all kinds of awesome stuff. Great guy. It was fun to talk to. Looking forward to doing it again. Talked about his career, what's going on in his life. Even got into some alien talk and possibly more. You just got to check it out. What's crazy is this podcast is going to be in two separate, well, not separate, but two different, probably what we're wearing, because about an hour and 10 minutes in, or somewhere around there, my power went out. So we got cut off by Mother Nature. So I guess the second half of this will the first half of this took place on Friday night. The second half is on Sunday. So that's pretty funny that we got to start talking about aliens and then everything shuts down. So what's that tell you? Ooh, aliens are real. But anyways, hope you enjoy this episode. Be sure to check out my past episodes. First one was with Greg Bennett. Second one, Jeff Wedding. Both from the production of Tennessee Gothic, which you see right there. So enjoy. All right, what's going on, Stephen?
I'm doing good, man. Doing real good. Just working a lot and working on a couple different things. It's pretty exciting.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I just want to note real quick, Marty, well, I call her Brooke, but does she go by Marty when you was in school?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, she's the one that introduced us, and I guess she obviously saw all my posts when I post about Jelly Roll, and that kind of brought us two together for this. And but yeah, thank you for coming on, and yeah, I look forward to seeing all your stuff. And what's crazy is I've seen a lot of your work and didn't realize it was your work, because I've watched any new Jelly Roll video that come out, and how many have you worked on with him so far?
I kind of lost count. We were working on and off for nearly 7 years, I believe, and then into 2019 we kind of started working full time together.
Wow. So pretty much any new, was you working with him around the time the Jingle Jared thing started?
Yeah, I worked on a couple videos around that time. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to ask this real quick though. What would you say your job title is? Is it videographer?
My job title is director of photography.
Okay.
So I'm the guy behind the camera, making a lot of the lens decisions and camera position decisions. I work heavily with the director and the producer, and to be able to create the best ending product. Of course, they kind of direct everything, and I just kind of help mold it and make it look and make it make sense all together. I guess if that makes sense.
Hell yeah. Well, I know. Well, I've been in a couple or a movie, and I listened to a podcast called the Movie Crypt Podcast, and they talk a lot about filmmaking and stuff. So I know the terminology is pretty good, which also, I guess, in the industry, I call you a DP, right?
DP, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I also, really quick, I want to say congratulations. After getting out of school, how long after you got out of school did you go right into working full, like?
Yeah. So actually, while I was going to NOSI, during our last 2 weeks, we did a bunch of exit interviews, just to get us ready to do like real interviews, and also some of those exit interviews were jobs that were hiring. And there was a guy, his name was Sean, and he worked for this company called High Five Marketing. Okay. And they hired me full time on there about 3 weeks before we graduated.
Yeah.
So that was kind
Oh,
of cool. I worked
yeah.
there for, and I wasn't shooting like music videos or anything like that, and I kind of wanted to get more in that realm. So I ended up like leaving after that and did a lot of freelance, and then I did some freelance while I was in school as well.
Yeah. Would you say? I guess would it be? Have you shot any movies or anything like that?
So I assisted and helped out this director named Charles Robinson. Worked with him. We went to Milwaukee. I think that was in 2016, maybe. We went up there and we shot this movie called Too Much Sugar for a Dime, the Milwaukee story.
Uh-huh.
And that movie's been out for a while. And then there's a movie. There's another director here in town. His name is Kwani Cash.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah. I remember him back in the day, right there.
okay, yeah. So in 2018, I DP'd a movie for him called Gang Gang, and that should be coming out here soon too.
I actually got his movie Loyalty and Respect.
Oh, the first one, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I big, but Nashville rap was big for me, especially when Young Buck and all them. Young Buck got big and where he did. But I'm from West Nashville. I grew
Okay,
up. I grew up on Stevenson Street,
oh
right down from the Nations.
yeah,
Um, but I grew up there until I was probably 12, and then we moved to Ashland City. So we lived on the outskirts for the longest, but I stayed with my cousin on the weekends on James Avenue. So
oh
I was always around that area on the weekends. So I remember Nashville when it was Nashville.
yeah, yeah. That
like
was struggles those stomping grounds over there too, over in West Nashville.
oh yeah, yeah. He was big. I guess he grew up over. I don't know what street it was, but in the Nations. But I know my aunt knew him. He was a maintenance man at an apartment complex before he is what he is now. Of course, he blew up, and I'm really proud to see what they've done too. Because man, because I started listening to him and Struggle in 2006.
Okay,
I bought the Gambling on a White Boy Volume 2 album from Jelly Roll in Cookeville, Tennessee at a show. It was at Cotton Eye Joe.
okay,
Um, but yeah, that's where I met Jelly Roll, and that's when he had the braids. That's when both
great.
of them had the braids. Yeah, yeah. But but yeah. Let's see. I want to ask also, what was some of your inspirations that led you down the career path that you're in now?
Um, I always wished that I could like really like paint or draw, and I never really had that skill set to be able to like kind of paint or draw things as I felt like I wanted to. And so I picked up a camera, and I felt like a camera I could use as my own paintbrush or my own pen, and I could use that to like really draw my scenes together. And that's kind of like my way of still being able to be creative visually without having to like have 20 years behind a paintbrush like some people can as well. That some people already have the skill set too. Also, um, I started out as a musician, and I always loved music. Um,
Yeah,
and when I came to Nashville, I really loved music. There were so many other people that were way more talented than me. So I figure I could still work in the music industry, but I could pick up a camera and still be a part of that and be able to kind of help another artist that I love get further in their career. And that's kind of my inspiration I drew from that.
oh yeah, yeah. That's one thing about me too. I'm not artsy at all. Like I got ideas, but I don't know how to get them out. So I guess I have a lot of people around me that know how to do that.
Mm.
So I guess I'm an idea man. but
Every, but everything's got to start with the idea, so that's important.
but I actually, you saying that you started within the music industry, right? Is that what you said? Well, I kind of did too with what I'm doing with like my Tennessee Horror News and that promotion stuff. I started out with a music part of it, back when I actually met Marty. Which, by the way, she messaged and said, "Tell you what's up."
Oh.
But but yeah, that's how I actually met her on MySpace through Epps Promotions. It was my music promotion thing I had going back in 06 and 07.
Okay.
But yeah, back in the MySpace days.
Back in the days,
when
man.
when when all the teenagers knew how to code.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure you had one of them profiles where you had the music playlist and
Oh, yeah. I went through all those profiles. Where you load up my profile, and it might take 2 minutes to load the whole thing. We got moving backgrounds and all that.
oh yeah, man, that's what was crazy. All the kids back then knew how to code and everything because all you had to do is go put all that code in there and then yeah, man,
Yeah.
MySpace, boy, that was the days before good old Facebook. Ugh. Anyways, um, so how did you get involved with working with Jelly Roll?
Um, such an interesting story. Man, so I picked up after I picked up my camera, shot a couple videos or whatnot. I shot a video with this one artist, and I met him on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
and um, that artist he asked me if I wanted to shoot a music video with an artist named Bubba Sparks.
Oh yeah, no Bubba. Well, I don't
I
know him
ended
personally, but
I ended up shooting that video with Bubba Sparks, and he was working with this group called I49, and they're out of East Nashville.
oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and then a manager there, he was acting, I guess, as the role of the manager, but he's also the artist in the group, David Ray. Uh,
Oh yeah, old Dave Ray, man. Whew.
yeah,
He's
he's a beast.
original CWB right there.
Yeah. Well,
So go ahead, sorry.
oh no, you good. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna name some more of them, but yeah, it's no big deal.
But yeah, I met David Ray. He linked me in with Jelly Roll after me and him had shot a video, and he really liked my style. And yeah, been working with David Ray for a very long time, and he's been just linking me in with a couple other people that he works with as well. So true through David Ray, he linked me in with a video that Jelly Roll had with CWB, and then after that, me and Jelly kind of gelled real well, and he hit me up for a couple of videos, and then other artists that seen that I had worked with Jelly Roll that had a feature with him, that hit me up to shoot their videos with Jelly as well, and we just kind of started a pattern. We just like working, and yeah, that's just kind of how it started. We gelled together. It was an instant gel. It was really cool.
That's what one. Also, going back to David Ray real quick, I wish he would do more music, but I think he stays more in the background nowadays, don't he? Like,
Yeah, so he kind of laid down on the him being an artist wise, but he does a lot of producing, a lot of production. And he still writes a lot of music as well. He's a super talented writer. So a lot of the people that you see around him, he's probably did some sort of writing for them or either produced a track for them.
yeah, I remember seeing a video. I don't know what song it was, but Jelly and him was in the studio, and they were, I guess, writing. I wish I'd remember what song it was, but I know. Did he help a lot with the "Save Me" song?
Yeah, yeah.
Was that? God,
So
that
yeah,
speak.
Jelly Roll and Ray they stuck their heads together and came up with a hit on that one. Knocked
Oh
it out of the
my
park.
God, was you there in Georgia?
Yeah, I was filming.
Oh my God, man, I want to see that whole video. The whole video because I got chills watching the whole. He tried to sing and that crowd was out singing him.
Yeah.
I,
It was and yeah, it was about 7,000 people ended up being there in total. And when I was filming, man, I could only see probably the first like 4 rows from where I was standing on the ground. But all those people, there's a lot of people in the crowd crying and singing that song, screaming it back at him.
that's always one thing. Anytime I watch something that's something like that, like I see um, there was not a documentary. There was a memorial for Chester Bennington when after he passed away,
Mhm.
um, and the crowd. at the, I think it was at the Hollywood Bowl. The crowd was singing his part. Whew, talk about a tearjerker, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it's
Yeah,
like a it's like a huge choir. But that's something that I love watching those videos of the crowd singing to them. Man, I could not imagine being the artist and hearing them sing your song like that. That has to be like I'm getting kind of emotional talking about it. but I say that damn doing that is definitely addictive. You know, doing live shows and stuff because God, I'm so glad it's back. Huh,
oh,
it's too damn long. But like I've been telling my daughter because I'm actually taking my daughter. Like she is a huge Jelly Roll fan. I actually got her into Jelly Roll. You know, after more when he got into the singing stuff because she never really listened to him. Well, she was younger too, but she's almost 13 now. But yeah, so it's gonna be a father daughter kind of date to the Jelly Roll show.
it's gonna be awesome, man. She's gonna love that. She's gonna remember that forever.
Oh yeah, and she's also a big Savannah Dexter fan too. So
Okay. There
and
you
I'm
go.
not. Speaking of that, I want to ask you about that. I saw that you worked with her on her new video, right?
Yeah. So her and her team, they came up from Florida, and Jelly Roll's wife Bunny, she was directing on that video,
Yeah.
and there's a cinematographer. His name is Ghost. He's from Orlando, and he's actually her cinematographer. So he shot a good bit of it, and then he passed over to me, and we kind of just collaborated, and we kind of both shot her project together. It was a fun experience.
I think that comes out next week, isn't it? That video.
Yeah, June 2nd.
That's another thing I want to, also, while I'm on it, Bravo, man, he's killing it too. He,
Oh yeah,
did he discover her or whatever? Did he find her? Is that what it was?
yeah. I think he discovered her. And
So
then
is he like, was that like a
he
manager? So is he like the manager or
right.
just okay? Okay. But I was going through, after Marty linked us up, I was going through your Instagram, and like I said, man, you definitely got some impressive work on your, I guess you say your resume or whatever.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking back, all the videos I've seen, that if you've been working with Jelly Roll that long, then yeah, I've pretty much any video I've seen of his, you've been killing it, man. I know that. What's that one where "Promise"? Is that the song?
Promise. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching him on Instagram, his story, and he was like the last minute decision to go film this real quick. So was he just like called you up and was like, "Hey, we're gonna shoot a video real quick"?
Oh yeah, we planned it out in 45 minutes, and then
Wow.
we're out there at David Ray's property shooting that video. We actually went to like a recycling company here in Nashville and got all those TVs.
That's what I was
And
gonna ask you. I was like, "Where'd you get all them old TVs at?" Just
went to the recycling center, and we were like begged them to have them, and they just let us have them, and we stacked them up like that, and yeah, and then it was the video.
yeah, that's awesome right there. That's another one, that it's a really good song. All his songs are, but let's see. So what would you say what is the day of the life of Steven? What is that like?
um, Day in life. Wake up, get some breakfast, head over to the gym usually in the morning, and then while I'm at the gym, I might get a few texts from the squad, from the video team here at the office, and we'll probably talk about what's going on for the day or what we need to accomplish for the day, and then I come to work, and from there I'm kind of sitting behind the computer editing for a while unless we have a video shoot. Um, and then if we maybe the team we might get into a meeting or something like that, but that's pretty much the day. If we have a video shoot, the whole day is way different. It's show up really early and then get all the gear packed in the van and head out to the shoot, and then we go have fun, get to create. Those are the fun days.
Oh
I
yeah,
like too because you can kind of sit and mold a project together, but it's always fun having that camera in your hand.
oh yeah. Another thing, I noticed that you shot was, did you shoot the video for Opener Up?
Yeah, I shot that video too.
Yeah, Hey, that dude, he is. Oh man, he is hysterical.
Yes,
I,
I love it. Yeah, he's funny.
so, how was it working on that set? I bet that was just nuts.
Oh, nuts, man! He kept me laughing. I laughed to my sides hurt. And Jelly's a funny guy too. So both of those guys going together, man, will just crack you up. And then of course Andrew had his whole team, Akash and all them guys.
Yeah,
Those man, every single one of
yeah. I listen to the Flagrant 2 at work
them.
almost every day. Andrew, man, he is. Oh man, he has. I'm like this motherfucker, man. Damn. But so what was the? Because I noticed on your video, I saw a picture of Chad Arms as was he a preacher?
Yeah, he was a preacher on that last video that we did with Jelly in the river. He was the preacher that baptized Jelly in the video.
That video's not out yet, right?
No, it's not out yet.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I know, I'm pretty good at seeing his videos, and so are you editing that too?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so
We're actually shooting the second half of that the week after next. We're trying to lock down another location for the video, and we just had a bit of trouble locking it in, but we finally got it. So that we'll shoot that one the week after next, and it'll probably come out fairly quickly after that.
hell yeah, I'm I watch I watch his stories and stuff, and I seen him like the back. Well, and also Chad had he was there on Chad Arms TV. He was there filming some behind the scenes stuff, and was it am I thinking this right? Did he throw somebody through a table?
Oh, that was at another music video.
Oh
This
God!
role,
Say it again.
this video called Role Model that we did at Santa's Pub. That was that video. Yeah, Jelly threw the guy that Jelly threw a table was actually our director.
Okay, yeah, okay. I didn't mean to get off on another one, but yeah, that's the one where Jelly Roll someone put like looked like he got his eyes blacked or something.
Yeah, that's a fun video, man. That video is gonna be crazy. And I think that's one of the first new videos that we got coming out of
So
this project. But that's a funny video.
yeah, so I noticed too that you see on your Instagram that it says that you're the official Jelly Roll uh, DP.
Yeah. hmm
That's do you think that's or obviously that's a big accolade, right?
Man,
To
I
be
love
able
it. I love it just because I love Jelly Roll as a person. He's an awesome person. I love that he trusts me to be able to help him create his vision and move forward in his career. And also, I just love to be able to make some music videos to songs that are amazing, and all of his songs are amazing. So I mean,
yeah, I wrote an article about him after he sold out the ramen, and I was saying, like it seemed like his of course anybody over the years you're gonna grow, but he's definitely grown, and it seemed I don't really know the whole backstory of it, but when Jingle Jared got involved, it seemed like he pushed him to start singing more,
hmm
and I think that was a great thing to do because old Jelly can sing for sure.
oh yeah, he can really sing, man.
Oh,
He
and
really.
he's confident now too. So,
hmm
but uh, so what would you say your favorite thing to do, or what is your favorite thing about being a DP?
Um, favorite thing about being a DP. That's a difficult one because I kind of like all of it. I guess I
What?
would the technical aspect of being a DP. Just all the technology that you put together and use to create a different type of shot, or even just being able to take what you have, even if it's not very much, and just be able to create something that really can like have people watching back and be like, oh wow, that was kind of a unique way to do something or a unique angle or something like that. Just all the creativity that goes into it. There's a lot of ways you can shoot something, but then finding a new way to shoot something, I guess, is my favorite part about being a DP. Using unusual angles that really can help drive a story that will make you be more involved and be more involved in the story of what you're watching.
Yeah, Yeah, I noticed that when you're on your Instagram, you got a lot of these camera things that own it. Look like one you was almost in like a cage or something. It's like you pretty much got to wear the camera, right?
Oh yeah, that ready rig vest. Yeah, it helps out a lot. For one, holding the camera all day, it does get a little heavy when you have certain different things attached to it. But also just having that on um, takes the weight off of my shoulders and it kind of puts it around my waist and hips. So it's like it makes it it makes it where I go from if I could hold it normally for 2 hours straight, I can put it on that thing and it not it's limitless in time that I can hold it. And then also just the stability of being able to have that on there. It has like a spring-loaded arms that hold the camera in place.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Is that the same as the was it the stat? What is no, the one where when the cameraman's walking, it won't. You can't see that the camera's moving.
Yeah, that's pretty much what that thing is supposed to.
Oh, okay.
You still can see a little bit, but if you do the proper walk, like the duck walk, then I mean it kind of covers everything.
So you got to you have to get a whole different walk down for that.
Yeah, you want to kind of like walk where you kind of like either on your toes. I see some people kind of walk on their toes, or some people just kind of like roll their foot on the ground as they're walking.
That's pretty wild. After over time, back. Could you imagine trying to film a movie like in the '60s or '50s or something like that? I bet it was a struggle.
Oh yeah, and their cameras were huge, so it's like back then there was no strapping your camera to your body, or your body's gonna break.
That's like that. What back in the day it was. How old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay, so you're close to but you remember the big old VHS video camera?
Hmm.
Did you shoot with any of that back when you was growing up?
When I was growing up, actually, that's where I kind of started to fall in love with cameras. Like I used to just shoot a lot of home video stuff, and we had one of those cameras that had a VHS tape. And yeah, I remember recording over the same tape like a million times, just creating different things.
That's what I was about to say. And you do it so much, eventually it'll bleed through, won't it?
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
bleed through underneath.
And what I guess it wasn't long after that finally come out with the little mini tapes, and
Hmm.
that's when they got the smaller cameras.
Yeah, and then they had that they had like before the mini tape they had like it's like a 8 millimeter tape converter that went into the VHS cassette. You remember that thing?
Yeah.
It had like a VHS cassette had like a door on it, and you stuck another tape inside of it.
It wasn't that so you can play it in the VCR.
The VCR. Hmm.
Oh man, that was the days, wasn't it? When you could
Um.
when you go to Blockbuster and rent a VCR.
Oh man, yeah. VCR, and you could rent a VHS tape rewinder. You remember that? Please be kind. Rewind.
Yeah, well, kids don't know nothing about that now.
All right.
Okay.
Sometimes they charge you extra if you didn't rewind.
It's funny. I was watching a documentary about the last Blockbuster. Did you get to watch it on Netflix?
The one up in Alaska?
No, it's in where is it? It's on the West Coast.
Or what is it Washington? I think
Yeah, I think it's Oregon or Washington or something like that. Something like that. But they have to get the license from who is it? Stars or Dish Net? No, Dish TV or Dish Network owns Blockbuster's name. So every year they got to call up Dish Network or whatever to make sure they still have the license to carry that name.
Wow, I did not know that.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty wild documentary. But oh man, I miss those days being able, as a kid, just walking through and seeing the movie or the artwork on the thing. But we actually had you ever hear a Family Video?
Yeah, Family Video. There's one in my hometown.
Yeah, we had one here, and it just recently closed down right in the middle of the pandemic. But I was actually able to. They were selling the shelves that the DVDs were on, so I bought two of them for $10.
Hey, that's nice.
So that's what I got a lot of my movies on over here is to display. So I got a little piece of Family Video over here.
Nice.
But
keep alive.
Yeah. Man, I miss those days.
Yeah,
But
it was not like going to like the going to Blockbuster, being able to look at all the tapes and then look at the front and the back and kind of just like I remember going so many times with my family to Blockbuster on like a Friday night and just looking at all the movies and just randomly picking out something that you never seen or heard of and just going back just checking to see if it was a good movie. And then also when Blockbuster started renting games, that was awesome.
oh, video games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I think was it around the Nintendo 64 and stuff? I think they actually started renting out consoles too, didn't they?
I remember that too. Yeah, they started renting that whole
Ah.
console.
Oh man, those were days. So, what would you gravitate towards more when you walked in or through that store? Would you gravitate towards more like comedy or horror movies, or what would you go towards?
Um, I'd say I'd go probably first towards the comedy section. After that, probably
Ah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I was huge. I'm always been huge in the comedies, and then when I met my wife, she's a huge '80s. Well, speaking of, I love the '80s horror,
Uh,
but she's a huge '80s horror fan, and
uh,
on horror all in general. But she got me more into horror when I met her. But I used to. That's all I would watch. Stand up is my shit, man. I love some stand up.
who's
Um,
your favorite?
I gotta say right now, man. It's either Joe Rogan or Bert Kreischer.
Oh, I love Bert Kreischer, man.
He is stupid, but he is stupid funny, man. Oh man, did you see his one Hey Big Boy special?
I have I've seen the one on
Oh,
got his shirt off the whole time.
oh, he pretty much does that all the time now.
Oh,
That's a must. Like he comes out there and he's got a shirt on for a minute and then he takes it off and the crowd just goes crazy. So
goes crazy. That's
and
great.
I think he's more comfortable like that too because he said he starts sweating and it just gets uncomfortable. Like back in the day, you see Cat Williams up there, damn, you could see it just pouring sweat, and he's
Yeah.
got this big, he's got leather jacket on him. Like
Mhm.
I know you're shooting a special, but man, why are you gonna be uncomfortable doing it?
Right.
Hey, he's like, I gotta look fly. What are you talking about? But like Bert Kreischer don't give a shit about it. He's just got some blue jeans and no shirt.
Yeah, and
But
when I first found out about him on This Is Not Happening. You watch that show?
I've never heard of that. I
Oh, oh, write it down, bro. This Is Not Happening. It's a show that you can go on YouTube and watch all the episodes for free. And it's basically a bunch of comedians and actors, and they're telling true life stories. And like when you're watching the stories, like you say, oh, "Man, this isn't like if something crazy's happening." You're like, "This isn't real." That's kind of the gist behind it, but hilarious. Bert
oh
Kreischer's on there. He's got a really funny story on there.
I think say again it cut out.
Oh, I said his shirt is off when he tells his story on there too.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the funny thing is, he's always like working out, and he's always trying to. He's on diets and stuff. Cause I listen to his podcast too, or the Two Bears One Cave with Tom
Hmm.
Segura.
Yeah.
Man, well, they say some craziness on there, but anyways, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, um, where I saw his the machine story about him talking about the machine. I'm
Machine.
like, yeah, he's actually over in Serbia right now filming the Machine movie. Have you seen that?
Got a movie coming out called The Machine.
Yeah, it's
Ah,
taking place. Guess who's playing his father?
who?
Um, oh man, oh man, what Mark Hamill. But I was trying to say, yeah, I was trying to say Luke Skywalker, but I went blank on Luke Skywalker when I said it. But yeah, Mark Hamill is playing his father.
Mark. Wow, that's crazy. I definitely want to see that. I
Yeah,
want.
it takes place like was it 15 or 30 years after the incident of the train thing, and he's got some Russians after him or something like that. But so I'm pretty excited. When they were on the podcast talking about it, I guess he couldn't say nothing at the time, so he was saying he's going to rehab.
Mm, okay.
So he's going to out of country for rehab, and I'm like, what the hell? So I guess that's what I was getting at. He's big in exercising, but when he's exercising, he drinks a whole bottle of wine. Like he'd be on the treadmill and he'd be running on the or walking on the treadmill, but he ends up drinking one or two bottles of wine. I'm like, kind of defeats the purpose, don't it?
Yeah. Oh.
Because alcohol has got a lot of carbs in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Oh, like I said, I'm huge into comedy. Like one of my favorite. Have you ever seen a movie called Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
I haven't seen that.
It kind of goes on the whole the cliche of the hillbilly redneck thing. These like four or six college kids go into the mountains for like a spring break or something. And Tucker and Dale bought a cabin in the woods, and they're up there. It's their fishing cabin, so it's their little weekend getaway. But of course, these college kids think that they're just some inbred hillbillies and stuff. And the way everything works out, oh man, it's a great one. It's a horror comedy that's by far my favorite. It's most favorite horror comedy out there. But yeah.
What's that again?
What?
What's the name of that again?
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
It might be on Netflix, or if not, it's on Pluto.
Pluto.
Free.
Okay, Pluto.
Yeah, I love all these free channels to watch stuff. But
Yeah,
it's shooting stuff like you said you shot stuff when you was younger. Me and my wife, we used to shoot little short films with our kids. Like there's a Bigfoot short where we're at the park and they come across the Bigfoot. One's a witch, and then we film every now and then. I'm actually working on a movie myself. I shot with all my cell phone, and it's just me. I don't want to get into. It's pretty ridiculous, but it's called Paranormal Activity.
Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, I posted I think I posted
the flyer.
Yeah, the thing on my page.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I got lotion on my face. That's just lotion, but it's meant to be something different. But I shot it as like little webisodes or whatever, and I put them on YouTube for a while, and they was just like season 1 and season 2, and then someone said you should make that into a movie. I added it up, and all the ones I had almost an hour and 20 minutes of just that. So I'm gonna shoot the ending, and I'm gonna put it out as a full feature length movie as a found raunchy horror comedy found footage.
Yeah, I want to check that out, bro.
Oh, if you like raunchy comedy, oh man, I'll if you want, I'll go ahead and send you the links of what I got so far, and oh man, and my buddy, his name is Yeti. He made the poster for it.
Okay.
It
did a job on the poster. That's the same one you had on your story, right?
Yeah. I think I had the synopsis wrote on it.
Yeah, it was on there today.
Internet's being slow. Of course it would, right when I never posted it on that one. Maybe I don't know. No. I wonder, did I follow you on THN Studios as well?
No, I think just JimJam. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
And then I said coming soon, but I spelt it the other way.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's see what. All right, we get back to it. Sorry, I got off. But so you'd say your favorite movies kind of was comedy?
Yeah, comedies. Mm-hmm.
Who'd you say did you say who your favorite comedian was?
Oh no, I didn't. I'd say probably right now it's probably Dave Chappelle. I really like his comedy style a lot. Also like what is his name? George Carlin.
George Carlin.
He's pretty funny.
Is that he passed away, didn't he?
Yeah, he passed away. He's the older comedian
from Bill and Ted, right? He was in Bill and Ted Boat. Yeah. Oh yeah. What's his name? What was his name in there? I don't remember what his name was. But yeah, he back when they said stuff and it didn't hurt people's feelings.
Yeah. Piss them
Or they
off stuff.
just or they just didn't give a shit. One. Um
Probably the
and,
second one.
hey, what was it? I think it was right after all this everything started happening where everybody got offended by everything. And and I think it was when Dave Chappelle first come back. His stand up or his special that when he first come back, holy shit, he did not hold nothing back, and I was so thrilled to see that.
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
like that. He doesn't let anything hold back. He goes at everybody.
oh yeah, and I listen to. I don't know. Do you listen to the Joe Rogan Experience?
Love it. Love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited to. If I can, man, I'm gonna try to go down to Austin. I want to because Joe said he's opening up a comedy club.
Oh, really?
It might be him and Dave Chappelle going to be doing it together. But no, Dave Chappelle lives in Ohio, don't he?
I think so.
Yeah. I don't think he's ever going to get tainted with going to Hollywood. He don't like them people.
Yeah, yeah. He likes to be in a small town area and just kind of be there with his family and not to worry about much.
Which I don't blame him because not long after, I think I lived in Cheatham County for a couple years. And I was running around with my cousin doing kid stuff, doing dumb shit. And we provoked somebody, and I ended up getting shot in the leg, and over in the Nations, right in front of West Park, that little building right in front of I can't remember what name that road is, but yeah, we doing dumb shit. I ended up getting shot, but my parents saw that was like, we got to get him out of Nashville. He's gonna get killed. So they moved us up here to Warren County or McMinnville.
Okay, McMinnville. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did my time in high school at Warren County High. So, but yeah, after that, that's when let's say how long after. Where are you from?
Owensboro, Kentucky.
Owensboro. Okay. So, when did you move to Nashville?
I moved here in October 2010.
2010. Okay. So, yeah, I think that was about the time when Nashville started changing. It was around that time. I think it started really changing when that show Nashville was filming. When they
yeah. I feel the same thing because when I came, 2010 was the flood, and then after the flood, it was a couple months, and they opened the mall back up, and then the Nashville show started, and then I remember watching a news clipping in like 2012, and they were talking about how they were going to stick 18 new skyscrapers up downtown that had more than like 20 floors. And I was like, what? There's no way. And sure enough, I look out the window right here in my office, and yeah, they weren't lying.
So how are you like right by? Are you on Music Row or are you close to it or something?
Yeah, I'm on Music Row. I can actually see the AT&T building from my window when there's not a lot of trees.
Oh man, you got an awesome sky view then, don't you?
It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. During sunset, you can all the buildings downtown are all glass. So during the sunset, the buildings like change to a golden color, and then it reflects on this back wall back here.
To my window. Was you cool. I don't know. I don't think they do it no more. But was you were they doing it that one building downtown Nashville? They would turn off the certain lights in the floors and spell stuff out on the building. They would use all the lights.
That was before that I moved here, but I remember seeing that when I was a kid, though.
Oh man, that was awesome. They would have, I can't remember what they would ever put on it, but yeah. And I remember we used to, let's see, I was probably 8 or 9, but we would pull over in the middle of the interstate and like the grass, and we'd watch the fireworks on 4th of July on downtown Nashville. Oh man, the good old days when Nashville was not the new New York or new LA.
Yeah.
Like I was just recently there. Was it about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? And man, it's sad to see they're tearing down all the houses and putting them everybody I know calls them row houses. A
Yeah.
lot of people, or like struggle when the song was Outlaw Classic. I think he said something about uh, tear down my old neighborhood and put up high rise condos.
Yeah, high-rise condos, and yeah, a lot of people call them tall skinnies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I almost like the shotgun houses like in New Orleans.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
that's one video I wish that they would have made is Outlaw Classic video. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
Have you got? Well, I don't know. Have you got to shoot anything with Ryan Upchurch?
Um, we did one project together, but I'm not even sure where the project went because somebody else was producing the project, so I don't know exactly where it went. I still haven't found that video to this day. I don't know where it's at. I wasn't in charge of editing it either. I was just in charge of shooting it, and then I just handed it off to somebody. But yeah, I'm not sure where that video is at. But I
No,
did work. That was a couple of years ago.
also I guess it got shelved or something.
I guess so. I don't know.
But yeah, what would you say? I know when you filmed with the Andrew Schultz and Jelly Roll, that's probably like you said, it was pretty crazy. So, what would you say would be the craziest thing you've had to or happened in a day of your career?
In a day of my career. Oh man. All right. I guess I can say this without saying any names. So I don't embarrass anyone. Um, I was shooting a video for this younger artist, and he had a feature from a bigger artist on the song with him. And we were finishing up shooting the intro of his music video, and the rest of it was like a house party video.
Mhm.
And we go back over to the house to continue shooting, and we get over there, and I walk in the living room, and I got the entire camera gear all strapped to my body, the camera and everything, the ready rig vest.
Yeah.
Uh, Not the one I own now, it was a different one. Um, but I walk in, and as I walk in, I see these legs just getting drugged across the floor in the kitchen. First thing I thought, well, somebody got too drunk and they got beat up, and and they got knocked out, I guess, because it was like a house party setting.
Yeah.
So I walk around the little dining room table, and I'm going through the kitchen. It's a house setup. You open the door, there's a dining room, and then right past the dining room there's the kitchen right there, and you can kind of see the kitchen through the dining room. So I walk around the dining room table, go through the kitchen. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I go around the corner, and once you go around the corner in the kitchen, it goes down a little tiny hallway into the garage. I go around there, and as I'm trying to see who it is, as I get around the garage, I just see these legs get folded up into the back seat of the car, and the door slams, and then the truck speeds out, and I'm like, "What's going on?"
Wow.
Yeah, so then they took me to the side, and they were like, yeah, such and such overdosed on something, and he just died." And I was like, "What? What?" They were like, "Yeah, we're just talking to him, and he just fell forward and hit his face on the pole, and he's laid on the ground." Now the story gets lighthearted after this, so it was the down part of the thing, and I was like, "What in the hell is going on? Like, we were just gone for 10 minutes, everything was fine." So then we get a call from the person that took them to the hospital, and he's like, he's in the car, and he's like, his lips are turning purple. And he's like, "That's not good." And so they pull up into the emergency lane at the hospital, and he just wakes up and he just looks around. He's like, "What's going on? Where are we at?" And I was
Holy
like,
shit.
"What? This is crazy." It's like, this is a crazy day.
Wow.
Yeah, that was by far the craziest day I've had on set for sure, and I'll never forget that day.
I
Yeah,
don't
it was.
want to. I don't want to say this this because this might reveal, I don't know, but this reminded me of a music video that I saw. And
Yeah.
it was back around the time of the Jingle Jared era.
Oh, I
Sunday
don't know.
morning. Sunday morning.
Oh yeah, that was a cool video. I didn't shoot that video though.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought
Yeah.
that's why
I,
he was going with a house party thing, and I think there was something like that in that video. That's why I was like, huh, is that Sunday morning? But yeah, anyways.
well, after that, and not the same artist either.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna try to get you to say nothing, but that's I just wanted, but yeah, God, that I'm glad he popped up and just like maybe he just knocked himself out when he fell forward.
I don't know. It scared me though. I was just like, I didn't see it happen, but they were just telling me about it, and I was like, because he was one of the artists on the song. You know what I
He
mean?
he
So
was
it shut down everything.
he celebrated a little too hard.
Way too hard. Crazy.
Wow. Oh man. Um. Yeah, that definitely is some crazy shit. Well, like I said again, I want to congratulate you on living your dream and not having to work for a corporation doing a 9 to 5. So, big congratulations to you on that.
Oh, appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man. I'm just trying to get out there and create, man. I did the 9 to 5 too, so don't get me wrong. I did that as well. Uh, when I worked at that marketing company, but I shortly found out that that wasn't for me. I was creating, still had a camera in my hand, but I'd much rather be shooting music videos or films, anything like that. Now, granted, the entire process of being freelance is not the prettiest thing ever, especially when it comes to pay. Because if you don't work, you don't pay. You don't get paid. That's it. And so, and then also, if you don't get out there and hustle to get that next job, you don't get paid either. And of course, you want to have a roof over your head, so
Yeah.
that kind of get out there and get it. But yeah, so yeah, I feel like now I'm in a position working with Jelly that I feel like I'm the most comfortable that I've been, and I'm able to focus more so on the creativity job than focus on the aspect of, oh, I need to get me 5 more gigs so I can be able to afford XYZ bill, if
Yeah.
that makes sense, you know.
Um. So you know, well, obviously, working with Jelly, it got you other gigs, right? Did that, it spawned into other things like you shot the Viking Barbie video, right?
Yeah, so Jelly, yeah, working on his videos really has helped out get other clients to come to us to shoot their videos, but also a lot of the artists that have or have a song with Jelly Roll, they'll go ahead and hire us to come in and really shoot their video and mold it all together just so they can have that same type of look that Jelly has for his other music videos. So I found that to be pretty cool as well.
So, I guess you definitely have a huge would it be portfolio or huge catalog maybe of music videos and stuff you've done. Uh, did you ever want to direct or like make your own movie?
Actually, I have some short films and that I've written. I have not shot those as yet, but they are in the process of. I'm still because I'm kind of hard on myself sometimes too when it comes to like creativity. I wouldn't say I'm a super perfectionist, but I also want things to like look and feel a certain way. And with short films and movies, you can't really cut a lot of corners like you can on music videos
Yeah.
to really complete them and make them make sense. So I just want to kind of take my time with some of those because those are going to be like my baby.
Oh
And so
yeah.
when it's first like really short, I just want to be able to kind of show my skill set as a DP and as a director.
What genre of the films are they going to be?
I think this first one that I'm going to put out is going to be a drama. It's going to have a little ups and downs, but it's going to be pretty emotional. It's already written, and I think I've cast all the people that I want to be casting it. I just want to make sure I have the right amount of time to really knock this out and lock it in and get it done. Um, in a good solid amount of time. But yeah, I like dramas. I like shooting dramatic stuff like that. But also, I'm a big proponent of shooting comedy stuff as well. It's just that for me, I feel like writing comedy is a lot more difficult than it is to write a drama.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a comedian. I know what's funny, but also, there's always a setup and a punchline and like you know what I'm saying, and and the timing has to be perfectly right on being comedy. Everybody's not a comedian, so it's hard for you to get like actors that are gonna really nail that every time.
Since since I've been doing what I've been doing for over 6, 7 years, networking is a major thing in what we do. Um,
That,
since you have contacts with Andrew, would he be able to help you out with that comedy? Like, just give you advice on how to write?
I didn't even honestly think of that. He might be able to help out with that. And also here at the office on the our video team, our producer that helps out on all the projects. His name is Jonathan Craig, and he's a really funny guy. He's also a comedy writer, and he's done a lot of the stand up too. So I'm probably going to hit him up and then maybe converse with him and Andrew when it comes time for me to kind of try to lock in some of that stuff. Maybe I can bring my idea to them and they can help me polish it. That'd be
Oh
awesome.
yeah, yeah. I think Andrew comes to Nashville, especially Zanies.
Hmm.
I wish there was more comedy clubs around Tennessee. I think the only one I know of is damn Zanies, and that's about it, isn't it?
Yeah, there was another one a couple of years ago called Jazz and Jokes, but I think it shut down like 5 or 6 years ago. So yeah, I think Zanies is really the. Oh no, there's one more, the Third Coast Comedy Club, and they do some good sets over there sometimes. I think they do improv over there too.
Yeah, I want to. I don't think. I think the only time I've ever been to a comedy show is when there was a show or Bonnaroo. Chris Hardwick was there,
Okay.
and I got to see him, and then also Reggie Watts. Oh man, that dude is great.
Yeah,
He's whatever he does with the that machine or the whatever it is. Oh, that dude is. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know you. I'm gonna have to check him out. Reggie
Yeah,
Watts.
yeah. Reggie
Okay.
Watts. He's got a crazy ass poofy. It's not like a fro. It's just like he got stuck his finger in an electric socket. He. I think he was on Joe Rogan not too long ago. But yeah,
Okay.
he'll like he can do beatboxing. He's great at beatboxing, but he'll do the noise and then he'll program it into his little thing, whatever that's called. I'm not good with that shit, but yeah, man, really, you should check him out. He's I think he's a comedian too. So, but yeah,
Okay.
I saw both of them at Bonnaroo, and I think that's about the only time I've seen comedy live. So I definitely would love to see Andrew Schultz because if you get around, or do you watch his YouTube channel?
Oh yeah. Oh, all the time.
That's the one that he does a lot of crowd work, and it is, I love it. I love
Oh
how he messes with the crowd.
yeah. He feels it. And, so on his YouTube channel, he's got this thing called the Crowd Work Special, and it's
Yeah,
like for him just like really just getting at the crowd. Really funny.
and he really goes in on the ethnicity of people. He really likes to like
Yeah.
which one are you or which one are you, and like
Yeah.
there was one that was two guys and a girl, I think, and one was the best friend of the girls, and the other was the boyfriend, and he was definitely having fun with that.
Yeah.
But oh man, yeah, that's what I hope he comes to Nashville to Zanies, but I bet it'd be hard to get tickets for him. Because if he's
Yeah.
at Zanies, have you ever been to Zanies?
Yeah. Yeah. Jelly actually had a show there 2 months ago or something like that.
A show at Zanies
Yeah.
for a
Comedy.
Jelly did a comedy show.
Yeah, it was great, man. It was really
Holy
good.
shit! Oh, now that I bet it was sold out, wasn't it? We say it again.
He does some little pop up shows over there every now and then, every now and again. It's pretty great. A lot of comedians just love Jelly, and they invite him to come and do like a couple minute set over there.
Man, So do they announce it on it, or is he just there? Just you got to be there to see it.
They usually announce it on his Facebook page. Now, if it's an official show, they'll announce it on the Facebook on Jelly's Facebook page. Um, but then if it's not, then he'll just kind of show up for some things like that.
I bet. So that's pretty. Yeah, he
Yeah.
definitely is funny as shit. Man, I need to start paying more attention to Facebook. But I got so much going on. Like my Coca Cola has me working 5 12s, sometimes 6 12s. So I get
Five
home.
kills. What?
Yeah, that's why I'm hoping this stuff will pan out where I can get away from that
Yeah.
stuff. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's hard to have a life. Luckily, I got a 3 day weekend this week for Memorial Day. But
That's not,
do you follow cryptocurrency any?
I actually been looking into a little bit of Dogecoin. My only thing is I don't 100% understand cryptocurrency. I don't understand how you can mine something from nothing. How do you find the cash? That when I think hard on that, it makes my brain just like
Well,
I
I
don't
got yeah. There's a guy I work with. He was trying to explain to me. He said all it is a agreement between one person and another person that it has value. There's nothing backing it.
mm-hmm.
So he told me about this one coin. It's supposed to be the Doge coin killer called SHIB. It's called
Shib.
the SHIB, SHIB.
Okay.
It's named after the dog that the coin Doge is after. So
Oh
so they pretty much stole that whole thing. I think it's
yeah.
called like a Shiba Uni or something like that. Is the
Uh
breed
huh.
of dog that Dogecoin is. And
Okay.
I bought into it. I bought 11 million coins for
Yeah.
less than $100. So
Oh damn.
if it does $1, I'm not work. If I'm working 6 12s, it's gonna be me filming a movie. It's not gonna be me working at a Coca Cola making somebody else money.
There
Just
you go,
making
man.
my.
Go, bro.
But yeah, that's one that I bought it on Crypto.com, and it's down right now. But they keep saying that a year from now you can be a mega millionaire. So dreams right there, buddy. Dreams.
I have to look into that too. Shib. Let me write that down.
Yeah, SHIB.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah, right now it's kind of down, so it's a good time to buy in. You can get like 1 million coins for like $10. So even if
Oh,
you just buy 1 million coins and it goes to $1,
even
that's
if it goes 50 cents, you
yeah.
still
But
yeah.
any time it dips, it seems like I'm on a Facebook group. But anytime it seems to dip, a lot of people buy more. There's
Mhm.
people that have like trillions of coins. Like
Wow.
if this thing hits $1, they're more rich than Jeff Bezos.
Woo.
So that's like I don't understand the whole thing of how it really, but I'm hoping it hits that. I don't even know if I'm gonna stay in if it hits 50 cents. I think if it hits 50 cents, I think I'm cashing out and I'm done with work. I'm gonna be doing something I love, not something I don't want to just to pay the bills. But
Right.
anyways, I noticed you have a NASA shirt on. So are you big into space and stuff
Oh
like
man,
that?
I love space. I just love science as a whole. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, man. It's pretty interesting. I don't know if you've been paying attention to all the UFO stuff that the Pentagon
Yeah.
stuff have been saying lately, and that video that just surfaced the other day from Daniel Corbell, the Navy. It's the first time that radar footage has actually been captured on these unidentified objects, and there was like 20 of them that were circling this U.S. Navy ship, and they got the footage from the actual radar where you can see them all around the ship, and then you can see them disappear into the ocean. And
Okay, so that's what Joe was talking about. I was listening to his newest episode. He was talking with a was it a philosopher?
mhm.
Can't remember the guy's name, but yeah, they were talking about how they think that the aliens or UFOs are they're living in the ocean. That's how they're stay hid away and stuff.
Yeah, and also it kind of makes a little sense because scientifically, the octopus doesn't have DNA like anything else in the entire world. There's nothing else that has DNA like an octopus. So technically, it could be alien in nature, but I mean, we don't know what an alien looks like unless we go by Independence Day with Will Smith and they. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I mean,
that
technically, it could be an alien species, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, they say that the octopus doesn't have DNA like anything else that's in this world, and that could probably be our closest thing to maybe we could consider as an alien that we've actually seen and know of. But who knows? At the same time.
yeah, that's one thing that I'm kind of creeped out about. Like, have you seen? You remember the movie Fire in the Sky about the what was his name? Travis. Travis. Man, I can't remember his last name, but he got abducted. He said he got abducted,
Hmm.
but they it was him and like three or four buddies. They were loggers, like somewhere. Was it in Arizona or somewhere? But they were in the mountains logging, and a UFO abducted Travis. Man, I can't remember. Joe, he was on Joe Rogan's show before, but
Mm.
yeah, but yeah, that movie is creepy as hell. It's called Fire in the Sky,
I
but
have to check.
it was. I think it was in the '90s it come out.
Hmm.
But man, I got a little ongoing thing with my wife. Like I keep telling her like when we go to bed, you gotta keep the damn closet door closed. There's aliens in the attic, and they gonna come down and get me while I sleep. But there's another movie, The Fourth Kind. Did you ever see it?
Encounters with.
I think no, I don't. It's just called The Fourth Kind, I believe. But it's got Mila Jovovich in it. I think it's Mila Jovovich. But
City, Nome, Alaska.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Apparently,
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that happens in Nome, Alaska. Um,
Yep.
I think it was Mila Jovovich, if that's how you pronounce her name. Yeah, The Fourth Kind. But there
Hmm.
was a scene at the end of the movie where her daughter or son, one of the two, get just like vanishes out of their bedroom. Like they
Yeah.
just like, and I'm like, that is truly terrifying. Like,
Terrifying.
and
And then they have actual footage in that movie too.
yeah, yeah, because I
You've
think
heard.
she started watching, was it video back of her and she finally realized that she was getting visited by aliens as well or something
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
But that's just terrifying to know that there's nothing you can do. Like when they took her kid, you know,
Hmm.
she was, I think she was it like the TV was scrambled or she was talking to him for a
Hmm.
second, and they just told her like, "You're not getting your kid back."
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing that she was able to do. It's not like
Yeah.
who's gonna go get the kid? They don't know where the kid's at. I'm
Right. Where
like,
we at? We don't even have nothing that could travel to where they live at.
yeah, the farthest we've ever been is to the moon, I believe, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that creeps me out a lot. Like if I see something in the sky, I don't think I'm gonna go investigate it. I think I might take some video, just keep on going.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna be getting up under it and staring up at it, you know, so it can take me up. And they got long, skinny fingers. I wonder who started that, you know, saying that shit.
Oh no, who knows, man? Somebody probably in the 70s or 80s or the 60s. 60s
I
talk
think
about
around was it Roswell when it happened.
the
You
Roswell class.
you ever watch the show Project Blue Book? It was on History Channel.
I haven't seen that.
It's like a dramatization of the. I think there's a book come out that a guy wrote. I guess it based on true events, but I started watching it. It's a pretty good show. It's got a lot of alien stuff in it. So and like I'm a big X Files fan too. You
Well, you
should
have
see
to
it.
check out the Joe Rogan podcast with Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar was a guy that worked at Area 51, and he's been telling his story for like 30 years about how his experiences at Area 51 and how he's seen like a spacecraft there that had like this anti-gravity technology. It's really interesting. Him, and that Corbell guy or whatnot, they get on there and they both do an interview. There's also on Netflix, I think it's still on there. There's a Bob Lazar documentary, but it's really
Yeah.
interesting, and a lot of the stuff that he talks about, it actually, like, there's an element 115 that he talks about that they came up with a long time ago, and actually, if you Google it, it actually exists now, and it just came out, but he was talking about it about 30 years ago. But I mean, yeah, Bob Lazar, look up this guy, real interesting guy, real smart guy too.
Yeah, that's, I'll definitely check that out because I work 12 hours and I can listen to like 2 or 3 episodes of Joe Rogan because he got, man, 3 hour podcast. Can you imagine sitting there for 3 hours? But he talks about, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I thought my AirPods went dead. But yeah, I don't know if I think the most I've ever done a podcast was an hour and a half. But man, they get into some shit. Um, I heard Dan Aykroyd is huge into UFOs too.
Really?
Yeah, he's an official ufologist.
A ufologist?
Yeah, you could probably be a ufologist. It's not like it's something you go to school for. It's just I think it's like something you can just as long as you post it on your Instagram page, it's official.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you're big into space and stuff and science. You can be like I had it on mine for a while that I was a ufologist, but yeah, I don't have enough time to study anything like that. But I'm fascinated by it though.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Ufologist. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. Dan Aykroyd is huge into it. He's like
Okay.
he. I heard a podcast. You ever heard of the last podcast on the left? So they're like a true crime podcast, but
I haven't heard True Crime podcast, but I haven't heard of that one.
yeah, they're huge. They're just like Joe Rogan. They got an
Mhm.
exclusive deal for Spotify, so
Wow.
they're that big. They were just recently at the caverns in Grundy County.
Hmm.
They did a live show there, but they interviewed Dan Aykroyd. That's where I heard about him being a ufologist and stuff. But he said that he thinks that aliens come to Earth like on a Sunday cruise, just flying their damn spaceships on a Sunday cruise, seeing what the Earthlings are doing. It's like they're taking their old lady out on a date.
Hmm. Coming down to check us out, see what we got going on here.
Yeah, they because they know we crazy people.
Hmm.
Part two.
Part
Uh,
two.
yeah. Hopefully the power don't go back out. If it does, it's probably someone hit a pole or something. But yeah. So how have you been? How's your weekend been so far?
It's been good, man. Real good. Edited a little bit. I met with a good friend of mine. He's working on this really cool project for the Ernest Tubb record store down on Broadway, and so he was like showing me around and that place, and we're gonna get some stuff in order, some surprises I can't really talk too much about. I don't want to spill the beans just yet,
Oh,
but we
hell
got
yeah.
some exciting coming up that we're gonna do over there.
Oh, that's awesome. Hell
Yeah,
yeah. Well, maybe when you're ready, you can come on and tell us about it.
absolutely, man. Yeah.
Um, I didn't get to ask this, but I'm glad this storm kind of happened because it let me think of some more questions. Um, since you're a DP and all that, what camera do you use to film your stuff? Do you use different cameras?
Okay. Yeah. I have an A7S, one and a two, and then I also have a Blackmagic 6K, and then we also have some Blackmagic 4Ks here that we use from time to time as well. And then occasionally, depending on the project, we might rent a Red or an Ari. But I would say probably 90% of the stuff that you've seen as of late has all been shot on the Blackmagic 6K.
I was looking up real quick because I know these cameras are just stupid priced, but reasonably priced. But because what do they do? But the Black Magics don't look like they're too awful expensive. 2,000, somewhere around there. But compared
Yeah.
to the Red,
Oh
whew,
yeah.
You know,
Now
because
the red cameras, you're gonna spend a house note on the red camera.
yeah. When I like I said on the first part of this podcast, we or I listened to the Movie Crypt podcast, and they was talking about like the red dragon and stuff like that, and I just
Hmm.
was curious, and I looked up the prices, and I'm thinking $40,000 for a camera.
Yeah, man.
That
And
is
they
crazy.
it's so crazy. They have one they just came out with a couple years ago called the Red Monstero. It's $100,000 just for the body, no lenses or nothing.
Just the name alone sounds expensive.
Yeah.
um. So let's see. What was I going? Oh, well, a lot of people, because since I've been doing this Tennessee horror news, I've met a lot of independent filmmakers,
Hmm.
and they said if they use any type of camera like that, they'll go to. I guess in Nashville, there's a lot of video stores that rent out these cameras, but
Hmm.
I'm sure you have to have a hefty deposit to rent out one of them red or any of them, really.
Yeah, they want you to have like a certificate of insurance just in case anything goes wrong. That would be enough to be able to cover the price of the camera for sure. But yeah, we rent stuff from those guys all the time. There's a couple cool houses, rental houses here in Nashville.
Oh, hell yeah, especially since Nashville is booming now, and a lot of people are moving here. Especially, uh, let's see, I think yesterday I looked up some videos trying to find maybe some Jelly Roll doing stand up at the thing. Maybe someone recorded it, and I
Hmm.
found a couple little things, but um, I saw that what's the comedian's name? He's got the mullet. Um,
Theo Vaughn.
Yeah, yeah, he's gonna be at. I saw he's gonna be at Zany's next month or this month or next month
Hmm.
or something like that. But yeah, I saw Jelly was on his podcast not too long ago or something.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're good buddies. They're good buddies.
But yeah, yes, I think he just moved here, didn't he?
Yeah, Theo just moved here. Yeah, a lot of comedians are moving here. He just moved here. Josh Wolf just moved here. Um,
That's the one that I saw the video of him singing. He did a weed version of what song was it? He It was at Zany's. It was him and Jelly Roll, and they did a song together. Well, Jelly
mhm.
didn't get to sing on much on it, but I think Jeff was singing something. He flipped another song and made it just talking about all about weed.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, it's pretty wild how so many people are like, especially since L.A. and the people out there or the government out there is keeping it locked down still.
Hmm.
And I'm like, why are you keeping it locked down?
Yeah.
Look at Texas. They are booming. Joe Rogan done moved to Texas.
Hmm.
Countless others, and a lot of people, like you said, are moving to Nashville too. So
Hmm.
just traffic's just gonna get worse for y'all.
Oh man, it's already pretty bad. It was during when the pandemic started. I remember I was getting to work from my home in about 13 minutes, and it takes when there's traffic, it takes about 20 minutes.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah. You know, I saw a picture of there's people selling pictures or something of when the pandemic first started and downtown Nashville was completely dead. It looked like a
hmm,
ghost town, man. It's kind of eerie for real,
yeah,
you know.
real
But
eerie.
I was telling a lot of my independent director friends and stuff. Right now, if you're smart, if you can get out and not get in trouble, you need to go downtown Nashville and just film a bunch of stuff while it's
Hmm.
empty, and you could possibly make a damn like a apocalypse movie with downtown Nashville or something.
Hmm.
With since no one's down there, it'd be perfect time.
Yeah,
But
it
I
would have
think,
been awesome to be able to go and do that in New York City too. Because
oh
New York
hell
City,
yeah.
I mean, it looked super crazy at noon. Nobody in Times Square. That's a horror movie in itself.
And it was weird seeing New Year's of this year. There was no
Hmm.
one down there, but I think by the time this year is over, I think uh, there are going to be a lot of people in New York
Hmm. Oh
if
yeah.
they open back up. But I know damn well Nashville because Governor Lee done he done released everything. So I think we wide open like Texas, ain't we?
Oh yeah. We back at it now. We back at it.
And I love it. Um, Also, this goes kind of hand in hand with that first question about the cameras. what cameras or what did you use before you went to school, or got your money together to get these cameras that you have now?
The very first camera that I started out on was a Canon T3i. It wasn't very expensive at all. I had like when I very first started, I think I had two lenses. I had a 50 millimeter, like a little nifty 50 millimeter, and a 10 millimeter lens, ultra wide 10 millimeter, and that's kind of how I had it started. On those two, on that camera, and then after that, I moved to a Canon 7D, and then I used interchanged those two cameras for the first couple of years that I was shooting, and then after utilizing the Canon 7D for a very long time, that's when I finally switched over to one of those Sonys that I have still.
Sweet. Um, well, this also will kind of tie into this. Do you have any advice for anybody that's wanting to get into filmmaking? If they don't choose to go to school for it, or even if they do, what would you advise? So, because you linked up with Jelly now
Mm-hmm.
through other people, how would you recommend people go about getting into this if that's what they're looking for?
I would say, man, honestly, just grab a camera and just start shooting. I mean, I don't know, my first probably five projects, garbage. But I learned so many ways of not how to do things that it helped me figure out how to do things the correct way. And this was even before I started going to school. And then also another big thing that I don't think a lot of people speak on is like, you know, in filmmaking, just like in every other career field or sport or everything, it's all about practice. Practice makes perfect.
Oh yeah,
So what I would tell people is don't let your video shoot be the only time that you are holding your camera in your hand and filming, because you don't want your video shoot to be the time for you to be able to practice and get better. You want to get better before the shoot, or and try out your own techniques in between shooting actual jobs, and then that way when you get on the job, you're not second guessing yourself or anything like that, and you can kind of be more familiar with it. I think that a lot of people kind of make the mistake, or not, maybe even not a lot of people, but some people make the mistake of just only holding the camera in their hand when it's time for a video shoot. And I used to do that when I very first started, and then I just kind of started branching out and doing a lot of things. Also, another big thing is YouTube. YouTube tutorials, man. YouTube, you can go to college on YouTube basically, and
oh
learn
yeah,
a lot of stuff on filmmaking on YouTube. And that for that aspect, you can learn a lot of stuff about everything else. But definitely filmmaking. There's so many filmmaking channels on YouTube, editing channels, coloring channels, lighting channels. There's so many things that you can just learn on there to help you push forward. And then, of course, if you go to school, school's going to help out as well. But with like a lot of filmmaking schools, it's kind of what you make it. So like you're going to get out of it what you put into it. At least that's what my experience was when I went to college. It's like I got out of it what I put into it.
yeah. And another thing, sorry, another thing, going to school, you might be able to use equipment that you would never get to use beforehand. Because I
Absolutely.
know NOSI probably has their own cameras that they let the students use, right?
Yeah, Nosi, they've got some lighting gear, some cameras, they've got gimbals, they've got all kinds of different things like that that really will help you get familiar with what those are, and also give you an idea of what maybe you like and be able to invest your own money into getting your own gear one day as well. But yeah, college is great because there's a lot of other like-minded people there that also want to do the same career with you. So you might in college you might have meet someone that you guys really gel well together, and maybe able to start a business from that, and then
Oh yeah.
and then push forward. And then always it's great to be able to have the list of your peers that you went to school with. So whenever you get to a situation or in a spot where you're able to hire people to be in your crew, then you can go and talk to those people that you went to school with because you kind of already know that they're really knowledgeable. So that's a plus as well.
Oh yeah. Um, like Marty, for instance, you ever need a graphic designer, you got one right there.
Oh
But
yeah, she's amazing too.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, I don't have nothing big enough for it to be on, but yeah, like I told you. Oh here, she made this for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, she She did that while she was going to school. She was still in
Okay.
school when she made that. Hey, real quick though, I got this. This is that movie I was telling you about.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah. School is definitely a good resource, and like you said, it gave you opportunity to, because don't they help you get a job before you even leave?
Absolutely. They do, of course they do exit interviews to kind of get you ready to what interviewing is like, but also some of those exit interviews, those employers are actually really looking for people to hire. So that helps you. And then also we at NOSI there's like I wouldn't say a career center. I'm not exactly sure what the lady's name is there, but if you're looking for a job in your career field, they will search out and find all the people that are hiring the type of specific job that you're looking for, and then be able to ship them to or shoot you an email with all those listings in there to help you out in your job search.
Oh yeah. So I'm thinking I'm gonna include that in there, the NOSI's website in the link of the or the description of the podcast, because
Mm-hmm.
that's definitely a great school to check out. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you can vouch for that school.
Oh
How
yeah,
about how long have you been out of school? Was it about 7 years? Or less
yeah.
than that?
I graduated in 2016.
So yeah. So hell yeah. That's the only thing. I've never went to school for nothing because I never know what I want to do. I can't decide what I want to do, and plus, full time job, man, that makes it really tough. And I got two kids, and I'm married,
Mhm.
so yeah, I think it could be done for sure, but college is definitely a straight out of high school type thing. It's probably best that I recommend anybody that's going to go to college. Don't get discouraged not to go, but if you're set, just getting out of high school, I would recommend just go ahead and get it done, get it over
Yeah.
with,
Get
and
it over with, knock it out, and because that's when you're younger, you're going to have the most amount of time to be able to do that type of stuff too.
oh
So,
yeah, um, but so I think did we talk about your upcoming projects that you can talk about, or
um, yeah. So, upcoming projects. We got, of course, we got some more music videos with Jelly. We're always shooting a lot of music videos. We recently done a pretty cool project that I'm hoping that gets picked up. There's a freelance, I mean not freelance, a free agent football player that we recently linked in with, and we're creating this like a golf blog. And on the first episode, it was I'm sure I can say his name. He's a cool guy, Will Compton and Jelly Roll, and they were out playing golf together and just kind of talking about both of their careers and talking about their lives and stuff like that. So it was of course about a little bit about golf, but a lot about um, what they got going on and inspiration and motivation that keeps them guys going and keeps them trying to reach that next level in their careers, which is really awesome and inspiring to hear because some of that stuff that both of them guys heard, and I've known Jelly for a while, but there's some of the stuff that he was saying I've never heard him say before. So it felt refreshing to know that, he is where he is, but also he still has a level where he wants to go even higher. And also there's things that still in his career, I wouldn't use the term fear, but still worry him on a certain level.
yeah,
So it just it was and it was just great to hear some of those things and hear some of those things that the reasons why he keeps going and the reasons why he's at where he's at now.
oh yeah.
Right.
That sounds like it's gonna be good. Do you have a release date when that's gonna drop or whatever?
We actually don't have a release date on that one. I'm sure we'll have a release date here soon. But it's like a 20-minute video podcast, or not even a podcast. Well, it's like a 20-minute show, I would say. But it's kind of in the format of a podcast, the way they have Q&As and stuff like that on there. But also they're playing golf and having a good time too. They both love golf. Jelly's a great golfer.
Yeah, that's something. Well, I seen when I was it scrolling through her Patreon, I saw the picture of Jelly in a golf cart.
Yeah.
So that made me think because when he was on the Ernest show, he was talking about how he pissed off a bunch of road crew because he rode down the road in the golf cart and messed up the road that they just paved.
Yeah, that was funny.
Did you see it?
I didn't see the road, but I know the road he's talking about, and the neighborhood as well that he lives in now, and I'm sure that they were not happy about it.
Oh man, that would suck, man. And two, he was in the golf cart when he did it, right?
Yeah, he was in the golf cart. He said they were yelling at him the whole time, and he didn't really hear them because he was kind of listening to some tunes. But yeah, that's really funny because his road is not very big at all either. So I'm sure as soon as he got on the road, wherever he rode on the side, the middle, the left or right, I'm sure the tracks were pretty deep in the cement.
That's that. I would probably be pretty angry too, but yeah, man. Well, I know one thing we got was talking about. We was talking about aliens before we got cut off, and
Mhm.
um, have you saw any? Have you ever experienced anything like that? Like saw a UFO or anything?
I don't think I've ever seen a UFO. Yeah, I would say I don't think I've ever seen a UFO. But at the same time, I think that if we are privy to see a UFO, we're probably not going to really know exactly what it is at the time.
Yeah,
We might think it's like a military thing or whatnot. But I did. I'm glad we brought this back up because I was looking at some footage earlier that I was like, oh, we got to talk about this.
hell
So I
yeah,
was watched a clip on YouTube from CNN, and this retired Navy command chief. He was talking about how that when he was on his ship, how they used to just see UFOs all the time, and he got privy to see the Tic Tac. You know the Tic Tac video,
yeah,
and he said the technology behind that spacecraft for that Tic Tac video, just observing it from a distance of how they were observing it, it's an easy 100 to 1,000 years more advanced than any technology that we've even thought of. That blows my mind when I think about that, and that's also kind of scary.
yeah, definitely. Because what
Yeah.
do they always say? They've been saying that there's no sign of any kind of like if it's using jet or anything like that.
Yeah.
And they say that we would never be able to wrap our minds around the technology they're using. It's that
Hmm.
far advanced, and it just makes my mind want to melt just thinking about it. Like, what the fuck? What are they doing? What did they, it's,
Hmm.
but hell, even maybe we're just our minds are just too dumb to to know, and they're just that smart or something. I don't know, but have you ever heard of the theory that when people see the Bigfoot, usually you can see a UFO around or something like
No,
that. They
I didn't
usually
know.
go hand in hand. Or
Mhm.
when you see a Bigfoot, you're seeing into an alternate universe or a reality.
Whoa, I didn't think about that.
Because that's why they're so elusive or whatever, is because you're really seeing into another dimension,
Hmm.
and they just kind of break through then or something. Which I've never witnessed nothing like this, but um, yeah. But I just posted kind of going to the alien looking. Well, maybe not alien. I'll show you right here. I can send it to you so you can see it better. But
Okay.
I'm gonna show it to you. I'll send it to you on. Just send it to you. But I'll show the camera. Well, I'm showing the other camera.
What is that?
I have no clue. Someone on TikTok posted this. It's some kind of fish, or I don't know, but
Whoa,
looks looks absolutely terrifying.
and it's see through.
Yeah, and you don't see any kind of organs or a heart or anything that would why it's alive. And the head looks like almost like a dinosaur.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah that or like a lizard head.
Yeah, yeah, man. That's you know I'm from the south, and a lot of southern people we like to swim in lakes and rivers. That's exactly why I don't. Even though that's probably an ocean dweller, But I don't know. My latest picture, I think the last picture I posted, I hadn't posted in a while, is a picture of dude from River Monsters holding that big ass fish with teeth. Here, I'll show you.
Let's see.
I'll just hold it up to the camera so you can see. So, oh no, I posted two different ones, but this.
Yeah. I was just looking at that. That thing is huge.
Yeah, what in what? Yeah, it's probably something over in like the Asia or something in their rivers.
Yeah.
Man, I
What do
have
you do
no.
if if that bites into you while you're out on the river? I mean, you're done.
Oh yeah, if if it bites you and lets you go, you might be able to live. But that thing as big as it is, that probably pull you under, and then
Oh, easy. I mean, I don't know if it's like the camera angle that how he took the picture, but like this fish looks big as this guy. Like it looks like his head could fit in there in his mouth.
yeah, that's like we go rent pontoons, during the summer sometimes here on Tim's Ford Lake.
Hmm.
I just drive the boat. I don't get in the water. I enjoy just being out on the water, listening to some good music, and having some friends with us, and just talking and having a good time, letting the kids swim. And
Yeah,
yeah, I don't need to swim.
I
If
don't
I'm a
blame you.
swim, my mother-in-law has an in-ground swimming pool, so I'll just go to her house, and we just got it. We're actually going there tomorrow. We just got it cleaned up, and we're gonna be swimming tomorrow. And most of
Nice.
the time, there ain't no creatures in that water.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the safest way to do it. I mean, if whenever I go to the ocean, I only get in the water as deep as I can see down to the bottom. After
Oh
that,
yeah,
I'm not going out that much further.
yeah. I'm definitely not doing no dark ocean water. It has to be like I can see the sand through the water, and I'll
Hmm.
go to maybe possibly knee deep to ankle deep, and I do what I like to do is body surf. I'll just
Hmm.
catch a wave coming in, and I'll do that. But you won't
Yeah.
see me swimming way far out there because there's that one wrestler. Um, he him and his son were swimming, and his
Hmm.
son got back in, but he didn't, and he passed. He drowned because the current took him out.
Oh, man, yeah, that's rough.
Even though I hear that what you, I think his name was Shad or something like that. I can't remember his name, but they say you're supposed to swim like diagonal to the shore.
Hmm.
So and that's the only way you're gonna get out of the current. You got to
Oh,
swim
really?
out. Yeah, just swim diagonal to the thing, and you'll eventually get back if you're not out of shape. But yeah, so I won't have that to worry about because I'm not doing that. I'm not going that far out. If I can't stand up, I'm not messing with it.
Oh, I completely get it, man. I can do some survival swimming long enough for somebody to come and save me.
Oh
Past
yeah,
that, I'm not a strong swimmer. I'm not your Olympic athlete or none of that. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I try to do the same thing as you do. I get to probably my knee, maybe waist deep if the water is crystal clear.
oh yeah. There's one time when I was a kid and my parents took us to Panama City and we went to a thing called. We got on one of those glass bottom boats and took us
Hmm.
out to a place called Shell Island. And oh man, the water was just crystal clear. So I was having a blast, and I was up there. I was standing up, and I was only about less than knee deep. But I started noticing something, about 5 feet from me, and it
Hmm.
kept getting closer. And I'm like, that ain't no fucking leaf, because I'm looking around. There's palm trees around here. That ain't no leaf. And it kept getting closer to my foot, and I said, "Fuck this!" Got back on the damn the beach. I said, I waited for about 10 minutes, and I went back out there and didn't see it. And I said, "Yeah, that little motherfucker ain't getting me."
Yeah, man. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, man, we're shooting a music video with Jelly. I think we talked about it in that creek,
Yeah,
and where Chad Arms was the pastor's. It's basically a baptism scene,
yeah.
and we were getting close to the end, and then a 4 foot snake came out of these rocks and was swimming on top of the water. Dog,
Negative.
that was
Nope,
quick.
not. Mm-mm. And I don't know why it is. Even though snakes are little, and they're most of the time all they're gonna do is bite you once and be done.
Hmm.
But it's just still terrifying to know, even if it's not a poisonous snake. Why do them things just look so damn creepy?
Right.
Oh no, yeah. And I don't understand the people that do that noodling.
Noodling.
Yeah, where they go and they will be like in, it's probably waist deep water, but they'll be
Hmm.
filling along the bank, and there's holes underneath there where catfish will burrow in there, but they'll
Uh-huh.
fill in these holes and slide their hand, let the catfish bite onto their arm, and then that's how they catch the catfish.
Oh no, no, no.
Well, you see some of these
That's not for me.
motherfuckers that have almost all their fingers bit off, where they put the hand in there with a snapping turtle.
Hmm. Oh my goodness. That's a thing. People do this.
Yeah, they
Noodling.
people pay other people to take them on like tours and stuff. I
Oh my
wonder, I
goodness.
wonder, I wonder if Jelly would do it. You think he would?
I doubt it. I doubt it seriously.
I'm sure he knows what it is, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, that shit, man, I wouldn't even be walking around in it, like, unless I could see the bottom and stuff, and like kayaking, that ain't bad, but yeah, but also that brings me up to something. I saw one of your pictures. You was in some waders. I guess you was in that scene in the creek scene. You was in some
Hmm.
camouflage waders. Was you nervous at all about falling down with that camera on? Because I don't think that camera was protected, was it?
No, I wasn't protected, and it's definitely not waterproof. Yeah, there was a couple times where I took a couple steps, and because when rocks, like big rocks at the bottom of like a creek, they get that like thick, thin layer of like slime on them, and they just become like ice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that frightened me a little bit carrying the camera and the tripod and walking over, and what I'm saying. I really felt like there was a one point that I was gonna fall, and then my grip, my key grip, he was also wearing those same Cabela waders as well, and he actually did slip and fall in the water. So his waders turned into a bucket of.
Fuck.
He
That
had
would
so much
suck.
water in there.
Yeah, that would suck big time. I bought me a pair of waders when I was a kid, and there's this little swamp across the road from my house, and I would go, but I didn't get the ones that had the boots built in. I just put some boots over them. But it can be that felt for some reason that felt like it was more protection for me, so I could
Yeah.
walk through stuff like that,
Hmm.
even though the slightest thing can rip them open.
Yeah.
But
I felt
yeah,
protected from that snake though, because it was really thick material, and that snake, it was 4 foot long, but the head of it was small. So I was like, I didn't feel like I had to like run out of the water, but I did definitely get out of there pretty quick.
yeah. I wonder, was it? I don't know how to tell these snakes apart, but I don't know if it would have been a water moccasin or what. You
That's
know,
what they kept saying that it was, and
a
they're
cotton is a
poisonous, right?
yeah, cotton was it a cotton? Is water moccasin the same as a cottonmouth?
I think so, and they swim on top of the water like that.
But they can't bite under the water. I don't think. So
Okay,
if
then.
they were under the water, I don't think they would bite you.
Uh huh.
But I don't know because of course they open their mouth underwater, they're going to get a mouthful of water.
Yeah, yeah.
So they'd
Mhm.
probably just drown themselves. But another thing I don't like is spiders.
Oh, me neither, dude. Me neither
Oh,
at all.
I see these people where they'll be having them crawling on their head and their arm and their hands and stuff, and I'm like, I don't care if they don't bite you. I am not letting them crawl on me. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna. Yeah, nope, nope. Let's see.
It traumatized me when I was in high school. This girl that I went to high school with, her name was Amy, and I remember she got bit by a brown recluse,
Whew.
and brown recluse, I guess something in their venom like eats away at your flesh.
Yeah,
So she had a hole in her back, and I bullshit you not, you could stick this much of your pinky in that hole in her back.
oh
That's how deep it was.
god, wow. I
And I was
bet
like,
that. I bet that was so sore.
so sore, and she had a because the venom starts to kill the skin around the bite, and that's what creates that hole. So when she went to the hospital, they had to take a knife or like the scalpel and cut all that dead skin out. So it made the hole. It went from the size of like the tip of my pinky to the size of a quarter, and that's how much skin they had to cut out. And then they had to do a skin graft to like fill that hole back in. It's rough seeing that.
Yeah, that's why I'm not a big outdoorsman. I don't really do too much going in the woods and stuff like that. But I'm usually pretty good about watching where I go and lean up on and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, me not being an outdoorsman prevents me from getting bit with stuff like that because yeah,
Yeah.
even the littlest thing. But damn, those spiders are fucking scary looking, and there's
Mm-hmm.
some bugs like, especially like if you get into like the Amazon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There is some like them the mosquitoes down there are like the size of birds.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. I wouldn't. No one could pay me to go over there to like the Nile River. You couldn't pay me. And you get what is that? What's that called? The mosquitoes carry over malaria.
Yeah. Oh,
Oof,
that's bad right there. Uh,
bad. I
have
got bit
you
by a tick once, and I was down for about 14 days. And it's
said
a tiny, tiny tick.
a tick? Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man. Yeah, they got that. What can get you deer fever or something like
Yeah.
that. Tick
That's
or
what I
yeah,
had to say. It's close to Lyme disease, but
yeah.
it's Lyme disease doesn't exist in Tennessee. But yeah, that deer fever or whatever, put me down for 14 days. I was in the hospital.
Holy shit. Hey, speaking of ticks, there's actually a horror movie called Ticks. It's like a horror comedy,
Hmm.
and it has what's his name, Alfonso, the guy from with Fresh Prince.
Oh yeah, he's in
Carlton.
it.
Yeah, he's in it, and Seth Green, and they're like troubled youth that go to like a cabin for like a retreat or something, and
Hmm.
these ticks get mutated, and they get like the size of a damn poodle. It's like at one point this girl
Wow.
turns around, and there is this giant tick on her back, and it just when they move around, it shakes and all the blood. And there was like one guy was like, "Man, I feel kind of lightheaded." And he turn. That's when he turns around, I believe, and he sees that tick is just about this big on
Hmm.
his back. I was like, no wonder he just down pretty much drunk all your blood.
Yeah, yeah. Woo.
But yeah, that movie, I think it come out in like 93, 94, somewhere around in there. But yeah,
Hmm.
that's a pretty good movie. I really enjoyed that movie. But
I'm
and
gonna
then
check
there's
that out.
arachnophobia, I think is what it was, where
Yeah,
the spiders get very big, like the size of cars.
yeah. I remember that. Hmm. Yeah, I've seen that
Yeah,
before. That make your skin crawl.
literally, yeah. But
Hey man, you ever seen this thing called a wolf spider?
yeah, they're pretty small, ain't they?
Yeah, so a wolf spider is the craziest thing, bro. A wolf spider is just like the spider. It looks like a normal spider, but on its back, on the back of the spider is where it holds all its little baby spiders, and it can fit up to 200 spiders on the back of it. So if you like disturb it, all these spiders go spreading everywhere. Yeah, but they will have little bitty tiny spiders on the back. You got to find a little video. Let me see if I can find a video for you. It's terrifying, man, because you go from having one spider to 200 spiders in just
Right
1 second.
here.
Yeah, you can see all the babies on it.
Oh yeah, and they got venom too, I believe. Oh, here's a better
Hmm.
picture. You can see all the spiders on the back of it right there.
Yes, yes, that's it.
Oh man, that would. Um, have you ever seen a camel spider?
Oh my God, yeah, man. I was in the military and I went to Iraq. I've
Did
been to Iraq twice. I've been to Afghanistan once. And yeah, man, I've seen a camel spider. Those things are awful. They are so big. So my very first day on my very first deployment to Iraq, yeah, they're huge, man. My very first day in Iraq, I get off the plane. We're going to our little pods where we sleep at, and we go over to the Air Force camp. I'm about 5'8", right?
yeah,
I'm not super tall. This guy, he was about 5'8", that had this camel spider. He was holding it, and his arm was bent like this at a 90-degree angle,
yeah.
and he was holding the camel spider by two of the legs, and the
God.
other legs were dragging the ground. That's how big it was. It was as big as a spare tire. So big, dog. And I was like, I might need to go back to America.
So let's see. I read something about they're not poisonous,
No,
but
they're not.
if they do bite you, it can cause infection because how the cleansing yeah, how dirty it is over there.
Hmm.
So that's about the only thing. But they said that they will chase you.
So they're not so they're not actually chasing you. So over there it's real hot, right? And so what they do is they like to get in your shadow. And so when they're chasing you, they're really trying to get in your shadow. They're not actually chasing you. They're just trying to get cool down. And that's why they get underneath camels, because camels provide a lot of shade. So they get underneath them. But so essentially they kill camels because they get underneath the camel and they'll jump up on the belly of the camel and bite it and bury itself inside the camel's body, and then it will have its babies inside the camel and like eat the camel from inside out. Terrible.
There's actually someone made a movie about, it's called Camel Spiders or something like that. So they made a horror movie of which it's probably all digital, because I'm sure you're not going to get an actor camel spider.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure their brains are not equipped to where they can be trained. They're just out to be survived or survival. But and now also I heard that they scream too.
Yeah, they make a horrible noise. Horrible noise. It's terrifying.
Dude,
when I was deployed,
chills thinking about it.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And they have these also in Iraq they have these things. They're like these big lizards, but they're like huge. Their bodies are like this big around, and they run and scary on, and they're crazy. Well, some of the army guys that I was deployed with, some of them just, they're overseas for like 17, 18 months. They get so bored that they create a little ring and they make those spiders and the lizards fight each other.
Holy shit, I bet that is wild.
It's crazy, man. Crazy.
So 9 times out of 10, who's the wins the most, or is it about equal?
I saw most of the time that camel spider win.
What? So
yeah, but the craziest thing is you got to catch a camel spider to make it fight another one of them, and you got to catch one of them lizards. I wouldn't want to do either.
So there's some crazy ass motherfuckers that are in the army, then, ain't they?
Yeah, and I think part of it. Well, I think some of it is just boredom over there for so long. You create your own entertainment.
So, if you was to go after, like, walk towards a camel spider, would it run from you?
I don't know anybody that ever walked towards one, so I couldn't tell you that. I'm not walking towards one.
You're probably running away from one, right?
Quick. And if I got a vehicle, I'm going to get out of there quicker.
Have you ever witnessed anybody shoot them or shoot at them and stuff?
I personally didn't, but you're actually not allowed to shoot at them just because, we have the Geneva Convention. So, like, the Geneva Convention states you are not allowed to basically aim your weapon and fire unless you are fired upon first. So, of course, a camel spider can't really fire upon you. And it's not like a supernatural predator to humans. So you really are not allowed to shoot it. I'm sure there's guys out there, because at the end of the day, if a spider like that first one I saw, that's big as a spare tire, if it's coming at me, I'm unloading my clip. That's all. It's happening. I'll answer questions later.
Wow. Yeah. That's the same way with me. I done got in trouble. Like, why in the hell was you shooting? Like, well, you see what's on the ground right there. It didn't get me.
Right.
I got it.
And it went.
I will go wherever, oh, man, I couldn't, because, I'm sure them things can get into your little bunks or whatever, right?
Oh, they get into everything. Yeah. They're horrible.
Was you paranoid to wake up with one of them things crawling on you?
Yeah, I was paranoid about them, about scorpions as well. Just because...
Does the scorpions get big, or are they fairly small?
They're fairly small, but the small ones are the dangerous ones, because the small ones, you get stung by a small one, and they could kill you, paralyze you, make you real sick, all kinds of different things. So, when I was in basic training, my instructor, he had a scorpion in his boot, and he put his boot on, and it stung him immediately, and he was out of work for like a week.
So I guess they probably definitely tell you to probably check your boots every time, huh?
Every time. And I'm the type of guy, I'm overly active when I check my boots. I was taking them, I dump them upside down, and then shake for like 2 minutes. before putting my hand in there, and then all of a sudden a surprise happened. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I'm gonna asleep tonight, man. I think I just scared myself. Even though I know that there's nothing like that around here, but also I want to say, you served in the military. Appreciate you for everything you've done.
Oh,
Um,
thank you, man.
yeah, this is definitely tomorrow is a day for you as well. So to celebrate you and all the people that served before us or before you and everything. Um, so yeah, definitely can't. We wouldn't be able to do this without do what we're doing now without the people like you in the military because I'm sure these crazy motherfuckers will come over here and try to take over.
Yeah.
Obviously, we ain't letting that shit happen.
Oh, it ain't going down.
No, no, but I could not imagine being in the military right now with how things are going. Uh, I don't want to
Yeah.
get political, but especially I wouldn't want to be a police officer. Man, even though things are kind of dying down right now, it seems
Mm-hmm.
like, but I wouldn't want to be that because I just want to mention this: there's good cops and there's bad cops.
Right, right.
So,
Absolutely.
and unfortunately for all those good cops, the bad cops are the ones getting shown out there, and everybody's going against them. So
Mm-hmm.
I hate that for them because not most of the time, if you're in a situation, you're in a house, and someone breaks in, who are you gonna call? If you don't have someone to come and help things out, you're
Yeah.
fucked.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've
So
got two cousins that are police officers. One of them, he's a FBI agent, and my other cousin, she's a police officer. But yeah, I mean, I know
are
the troubles of their jobs and everything they go through. I appreciate them and all that stuff. And me and we have conversations about different stuff like that. But yeah, it's like you need it at the end. You need them at the end of the day.
oh
It's
yeah,
just
and
unfortunate that we have some of them that are not good apples. They're bad apples.
yeah that do dumb shit. But how is it for them? Being a black officer or whatever. Going through all of what happened in 2020. But I'm sure it was pretty hard for them, right? As well.
Oh yeah, I mean it definitely because I think everybody was kind of on edge because once things like that happen, like let's just take it back to 2001 when 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
Like look at all the Arabic American people that people just kind of treated like shit and they had nothing to do with it. They've been living in the United States forever, so it's like once something happens with a certain group of people, a lot of other people just to point the finger and say all of you did it, but it's not the case at all. You know that,
No. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think that was a struggle that they had because they, in their hearts, they want to be good officers. They want to protect people, help people out. But it's just when there's a lot of other people doing things wrong and not being in the right, then it just makes their job a little more difficult.
Oh yeah, and
But
I
it didn't
wonder.
stop them from not wanting to have that job.
Oh yeah. Another thing that I think that would affect it maybe is them trying to protect their fellow officers that might be white or whatever. Um,
Hmm.
would they get hate for that?
Um,
And if things went down.
I haven't really spoke with them about that, but I mean, I bet there's some level of something that would discourage them or whatnot.
Yeah.
I think anytime you have to go out and probably put your vest on, and I felt like that when I was in the military. It's just like there's
Yeah.
always a level of uncertainty because my main job when I was in the Air Force and I deployed a lot. One of the missions we had was a peacekeeping mission. So we would go to all the little villages and we'd deliver school supplies, food, water, clothes, stuff like that. And we were treated well and we were accepted because of the mission that we had. But also there was something in the back of my mind is like there might be somebody that just doesn't like us because we are American. And
Yeah.
and I understand that because the things they might have seen. But it's just that sort of thing happens, and it's frustrating because you want to do good, but then there's also you kind of understand because we are there in their space and like doing different things.
Yeah. That's one thing I try to do. I don't do it a lot, but if I see a cop somewhere or something, and just I'll thank them for what they do and everything, because I'm sure definitely right now I thought like I said it's dying down now, but last year I'm sure them kind of words was probably encouraging to them. But
Hmm.
Well, we'll get off that because that's kind of political, and we don't want to. We want to get do think good things, but yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend when we're recording this, and just want to say thank you to all the veterans and active military. Hell, I'm even going to include firefighters and cops in that because hell, they
Mhm.
they're like our army on our shores or whatever.
Right,
So
right.
they
Absolutely.
protect us. So thank everybody for that. But yeah, I think ran out of questions, and you done just talked about what you got going on. Do you want to plug social media and all that?
Yeah. If anyone wants to follow me and check out what I got going on, my Instagram, I try to keep that updated as much as I can. Especially when we have some cool stuff, cool video shoots going on. My Instagram is the_definition, and it's kind of just a play on words. So like a lot of people that know me, that worked with me, my nickname is Def. Everybody calls me Def, DEF, and basically definition. My company's High Def Imaging. So a lot of people just, shorten it and call me High Def or call me Def. And also it's a play on words because my last name is Webster. So it kind of all works out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, if anyone wants to check me on Instagram, it's the_definition. If they want to find me on Facebook, Stephen Webster. I do have a TikTok, but I have not uploaded any content. So maybe we can circle back around when I figure out what lane I'm going to go in on the TikTok level. Although since I've been working with Jelly. Jelly has started TikTok, and a couple other people have been on TikTok, and I've been featured on their TikToks, and some of their stuff has got like 4 million, 5 million views. So I feel like I probably need to start a TikTok so they can tag me and I can get some of those followers.
Oh yeah, yeah. You probably will definitely get some. Yeah, I got a TikTok where I did my original character. I don't know if you seen it or not on my Facebook or Instagram.
What's your name on TikTok? I'm gonna follow you on there right now.
I just recently changed it uh, because I changed the name, but it's let's see, THN Studios.
THN Studios. Got you right here.
But the videos that you see right there, it's my original character named Rafe. It's fear
With the
spelled
mask
backward.
on?
Yeah, yeah. That mask is originally bald, but I went and bought a black mullet wig and glued
Mm-hmm.
it to it. And I created. Yeah, he's the bastard son of Satan and a trailer park whore named Sheila. And she is in prison because she tried to kill his stepdad for insurance money.
Okay.
So Braves Peepaw and Meemaw raised him in the trailer park,
Okay.
Sunnydale Trailer Park. But
Sunnydale Trailer Park.
so I walked around the. Did you ever hear of the Full Moon Tattoo and Horror Festival?
I haven't.
Well, it's a horror and tattoo festival that happens every year in Nashville. But I walked around like that at that
Mm-hmm.
festival. So I didn't originally have that jacket on in there. But the night before I left to go to Nashville for that, I went to
Mm-hmm.
Walmart and they had a blue jean jacket for $3 on clearance.
Wow.
I bought four of them. I got my whole family a jacket. Because hell, you can't beat $3 for a denim jacket.
No, you can't. I just bought
So
one and I wish it was $3. It was a lot more than that.
yeah, yeah, that's why I jumped on it, and they had a perfect size for me. So now I ironed a bunch of patches on it, and he's into like old school heavy metal, like some Pantera and stuff like that. So,
Hmm.
but then yeah, my buddy that owns a special effects company. If you ever need a mask or anything made for one of your projects, hit up Von Grimm Productions. He makes masks and stuff.
Let me
You
write
can
that
follow
down real quick.
you can follow him on Instagram too. But he made that mask for me. But
Say that name again.
Von Grimm, like VonGrimm Productions,
Von Grimm Productions.
should be Matt Scott. It'll pop up too. That's his name. But
Matt
yeah,
Scott.
yeah, he makes awesome masks and stuff. Like if you ever decide to shoot like a thriller, horror, or whatever, or know anybody that needs masks, He's a perfect guy to hit. You know, you tell him your idea, he can create you a mask. That's what he did with that one. I wanted a mask that was it was gonna be the son of this devil, and then I took the ears. You remember the movie Little Monsters back in the day?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the ears like that. I can't remember that dude's name, but what the fuck was his name? The dude that plays the voice for Bobby's World. Howard. I can't remember his last name, but anyways, Howard Mandel.
Okay, Howard Mandel.
Yeah, he played the character, but the ears mimicked him, and it has a bat nose, which you can see in the picture. But and the funny thing is, you know, I kind of reference, instead of saying GD, I'll be like Grandpa Damn, because I say that God is my grandpa. Since and then Jesus is my uncle.
Jesus is your uncle. That's a really good mask too.
Oh yeah. I got to get them to kind of touch up on paint and stuff, because it's been through some pretty roughness, beat up and stuff. But yeah, man, I try to do that character every now and then, but it's hard because I got to paint black around my eyes and my mouth. Just takes a lot of time to set it up. But I tried to record a bunch, and I use a lot of country songs. Because he also listens, of course, he's from the South, so he listens to a lot of 90s country. So that's another thing, man. Country music is not the same. My favorite artist is Garth Brooks. Okay. So that's before we get off here, that's on my bucket list, is to see him live one time. But man, he's harder to get tickets than Jelly Roll. Tickets go on sale. They gone in minutes.
They gone real quick, yeah.
And then you could find them, but they're gonna be like $300 or $400 for a seat behind a beam at damn Bridgestone Arena. You can pay about $300.
And you're gonna be sitting up so high in the ceiling that you might get a nosebleed.
Oh yeah, so you're gonna have to bring some binoculars or something.
Yeah.
But that's definitely something I want to see. But yeah, thanks for doing this, man, and y'all, thanks for watching. Tennessee, horror news, agents of demon booth, where a death and porno goes, now Jim Jam has a show.